Welcome back. Last time we discussed the question of God's promises and threats and their implications for the hereafter. In this segment, we'll discuss the debate over our personal responsibility to command the good and forbid evil, al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa nahi an al-munkar in Arabic, the fifth principle of the Mu'tazilites. Now this is a principle which is known to all Muslims. First of all, let's understand what this is, because you learn a lot about the Islamic religion through all of these theological debates, especially about this point. Let's analyze this, what this means. The word amr means command or order. The word ma'ruf, coming from arafa in Arabic, in everyday parlance means what is known. But in this statement, el-ma'ruf is that which is ordered by God, which is known by the people. So al-amr bil-ma'ruf is commanding people to do what God has ordered them to do. It's literally that, commanding people to do what God has ordered them to do. And the second half is just the reverse. The word nahi is to prevent, prohibit, and therefore nahi an al-munkar is to prevent people from doing what God has forbidden them to do. This is very easy, but its theological interpretations are very complicated. For example, to make it very clear, God has commanded Muslims to say their daily prayers. That would be one of the ma'rufs. So this would mean to command people to say their prayers. And God has, let's say, prohibited Muslims from drinking wine. So this would be preventing people from drinking wine. So far, so good. It's very clear. Now the question comes up, which you also have in Christianity, how much of what another person does is my business? I mean, to what point does one go? It's a question which has never been answered with a single answer in the Islamic community, no more than in any other religious community, because there are again different interpretations. For example, if you're going to go in front of, let's say, Seyyed Hossein, one of the holy sites in Cairo, and you want to wear, let's say, a short skirt, should someone tell you not to do it, or is everyone free to do whatever he or she wants? That's one extreme. The other extreme is if you're a young Muslim French woman who wants to wear a kerchief on her head going to class. What does the French government do? Does it prevent it? That's the other extreme. Throughout Islamic history, such questions have been out there. You always have some zealots in every religious community saying, for example, "Oh lady, why don't you cover your hair well?" Or, "Oh man, why are you doing this?" And you have others who are much more lax who say, "Well, I'll take care of my own soul and that's a big enough job. What other people do is between them and God." And then all the positions in between. And the question of human rights has to do with this. People in the West, where individualism is very, very strong, especially in America more than Europe, believe that that is the most important of all values. People in non-Western worlds, not only the Islamic world, but the Hindu world, the Buddhist world, or other places, believe that the sacred community is the most important. So how does the one fit against the other? What are the individual freedoms vis-a-vis the rights of society? And of course, no society can go to the complete extreme. Because, for example, on any American university campus, if some woman suddenly becomes completely nude running through the streets, she'll be arrested. That means even in American society, you're not completely free. But you're freer than in Cairo, and in Cairo it's easier than in Saudi Arabia. So the issue of al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa nahi an al-munkar was a very, very sensitive question throughout all of Islamic history. Now it's very interesting that the Mu'tazilites were considered in the 19th century by European scholarship to be so-called free thinkers of Islam, which is utter nonsense. But anyway, they were considered to be free thinkers, even though they were the people who were actually on the side of very strict observation of this fifth principle, whereas the Ash'arites imposed many more mitigating conditions in this regard. So I would like all of us to have in our mind the image of a spectrum of theological positions in these debates, because it's not always just two positions, black and white. We actually have all kinds of grades and shades, such as the Maturidi school, you read about that often takes an intermediate position between the Ash'arites and Mu'tazilites. That's why I'm using the word spectrum for these situations. That concludes our discussion of the key debates between the major schools of Kalam. Next, we'll turn to Islamic philosophy to consider its role as a path leading from the outer wall of the fortress to the heart of life in the city.